let's talk about what substrates you should be using with an axolotl. And before I jump right into it, I'm going to explain why you should be taking this section of your research extra seriously. This is because when you start researching axolotl basics and finding out which substrates are safe for them, there's a very good chance you're going to stumble upon a rabbit hole online about gastroliths. Gastroliths are small rocks that a variety of animals like birds and different aquatics will eat to aid in digestion. They will help to grind up any food inside of them. They can also help with buoyancy for aquatic animals. The problem when it comes to axolotls are the people who are in the opinion that no matter what, an animal's natural environment will always be best for it. This is not true. Axolotls come from one river in Mexico that mostly has a muddy substrate. However, there are areas of it where you can find gravel and pebbles, so it is very possible that an axolotl could suck them up in the wild. One thing that you will notice in a lot of these articles that are just filled with confirmation bias, just trying to promote experimenting with this topic, is that they will avoid acknowledging the fact that axolotls only live to about 5 years in the wild and up to 20 years in captivity. And that is because we keep them away from the risks that kill them in the wild. And that was back when they could actually survive in their natural environment for a few years. That's not happening now. Now, if you don't understand this because you're new to your research or are overly focused on giving them a natural environment, it's very easy to find these articles and decide, yeah, I'll experiment. Despite the fact that for every article you'd be able to find that is promoting this, you'll also be able to find 10 more with scientific proof as to why you shouldn't. So why does everyone who would be considered knowledgeable on this topic tell you not to keep axolotls on gravel? It's because their digestive tracts are not built to use gastroliths. If they eat rocks, it was completely random and is a risk for impaction. They do not serve any purpose. Animals who have gastroliths have digestive systems that have been designed to work with them. For example, birds have gizzards to hold their stones. Axolotls don't have something like this. If they eat a rock, it's just going to tumble along their digestive tract until it gets stuck somewhere. And then they're going to eat another, and it's just going to bung up more and more. Once it gets bad enough, no food will be able to get through them. They'll start getting malnourished, they'll lose their appetite, and they'll start having buoyancy issues. Which is another point. A lot of these people that are on the side of gastroliths for axolotls will claim that it helps them with their buoyancy because it helps crocodiles with theirs. Axolotls control their own buoyancy with their body and their limbs. They do not need rocks holding them down. If anything, like I said, it will cause them to float. It will also cause them to stop eating as much because they've got that extra weight in there telling them that they're full. Most of the time, this will be a very slow death sentence, and unless you know what to look for, you're not going to realize it until that axolotl is already too weak for surgery to remove the stones. One interesting point that these articles will make is that in the wild, axolotls could get their mouths on bugs with exoskeletons or plants that they can't break down. In this case, it would make sense that having rocks inside them could help push things through. There is no scientific proof for or against this. Personally, I think it makes a little more sense that those rocks would just add to the mess inside of them. Either way, in captivity, no one is feeding their axolotl crickets. I hope. If you are, you need a little more research. In captivity, they're being fed soft foods that their digestive system can easily take care of on its own. So now that you know why to take this so seriously, some safe substrates you can use with axolotls would be fine-grained sand, as long as your axolotl is an adult, because babies can still become impacted by this. Bare-bottom tanks are my favorite option because it makes it a lot easier to see any little poops to clean. You can also get creative by using aquarium-safe tiles on the bottom of your aquarium. I've even seen some people use those flat bottom pieces of Lego. So there's a little breakdown of some substrates that are safe for axolotls and a warning of the rabbit hole that this section of research could take you down.